Hi guys! So in this video, we will discuss borrowing cost naman. Now, take note that the standard applicable for borrowing cost will be IAS number 23 na. So, ibig sabihin, iiwan muna natin pansamantala, okay, si IAS number 16. Pero later on, kapag nasa revaluation na tayo, babalikan ulit natin si IAS number 16, okay? Now, kapag sinabi nating borrowing cost, okay, from the term itself, these are the costs that we incurred because we borrowed funds, or we borrowed money from the bank or a financial institution. Okay, ibig sabihin, umutang tayo ng pera, so magbabayad ngayon tayo ng interest. So actually, kapag sinabi nating borrowing cost, it also means interest. Borrowing cost and interest cost, pareho lang yon. Minsan nga, tinatawag pa nga yan na finance cost. Okay? Now, may dalawang klase tayo ng borrowing cost. There are two kinds of borrowing cost. The first kind of borrowing cost is the borrowing cost incurred in the period in which no qualifying asset is being constructed. Okay? If na-incur natin itong borrowing cost na to or itong interest cost na to, dun sa period na wala naman tayong kino-construct na qualifying asset, take note that the borrowing cost here will only be treated or it will only be recognized as expense. To be specific, it will it will be recognized as an interest expense. Okay? But when the borrowing cost is incurred during the period of construction of a qualifying asset, dito naman see to it that the borrowing cost may be capitalized. Again, it may be capitalized or it may also be, may be expense, may also be treated or recognized as expense. Later, i-discuss natin yung mga yan. Kasi, later, meron tayong dalawang klase, ng borrowings. Okay? Now, pag-usapan muna natin ano ba yung qualifying asset na yan. Well, according to IAS number 23, qualifying asset is an asset that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready. Ibig sabihin, these are the assets wherein bago natin sila magamit, well, napakahabang panahon muna ang hihintayin natin. Okay? That is why it's perfect, okay, if we will relate it to construction. Because when we construct a building, let's say, for example, matagal yan bago matapos, hindi naman one day lang ang construction Tama ba? Sometimes, it may takes even for more than a 1-year period. Okay? Pero minsan naman, 9 months lang tapos na yan. Okay? So, kapag sinabi natin qualifying asset, once again, these are the assets na pagkabili natin, hindi pa siya ready. Okay? Kailangan muna natin gumawa ng some activities for it to be ready, and normally, it will take a substantial period of time to get ready. Okay? Now, what are the examples of qualifying asset? Property, plant, and equipment, intangible assets, and investment property. How about the assets that cannot be considered as qualifying asset? These are biological assets, investments, and other assets that are being measured at fair value, and assets that are ready for their intended use when purchased. So kapag bumili ka ng equipment, ready na siya pagkabili mo, then it's not a qualifying asset. Because the standard is very clear, that for it to be considered as a qualifying asset, dapat, it necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready. Okay? So, ulitin ko lang. We don't always capitalize borrowing cost. When do we capitalize? When can borrowing cost be capitalized? Only when, or only during the period of construction of a qualifying asset. Okay? Now, when do we start capitalizing borrowing costs? That's the next question that you should know. When to start capitalizing borrowing costs? Well, there are 3 requisites or conditions that must be fulfilled first before we can start capitalizing borrowing costs. And what are those? Number 1 is, basic lang. Okay? Number 1 is when we incur expenditures for the asset. Let's say, for example, nagko-construct tayo ng building. Siyempre, before tayo mag-capitalize ng borrowing cost, dapat nag-start na tayong bumili ng materials. Okay? Now, number 2, when we incur borrowing cost, syempre, anong borrowing cost ang mai incur mo if in the first place, hindi ka pa naman nag-i-incur ng borrowing cost? Tama? Anong borrowing cost ang i-capitalize natin if wala pa naman tayong borrowing cost na nai-incur? Alright? Then last but not the least, is when we undertake activities that are necessary to prepare the asset for its intended use or sale. Ibig sabihin ngayon, kapag in-start na talaga nating i-construct yung building. Kapag nag-start na tayong mag-construct ng building, dun na pwede na tayong mag-start, mag-capitalize ng borrowing cost. Okay? Now, after knowing when to start capitalizing borrowing cost, move on naman tayo dito sa suspension of capitalization. Kailan tayo pwedeng mag-suspend ng pag-capitalize ng borrowing cost? Well, as a general rule, capitalization of borrowing cost shall be suspended during extended periods in which active development is interrupted. Ibig sabihin, kapag na-interrupt yung pag-construct natin ng building, maybe because, kinulang tayo sa pera, something like that. Basta kapag nag-stop, na-interrupt yung pag-construct natin, dapat mag-stop din muna yung pag-capitalize natin ng borrowing cost. So when active development is interrupted, we should suspend capitalizing borrowing cost. Clear? But there will be exceptions to the general rule. Ibig sabihin, dito sa exceptions, tuloy pa rin ang pag-capitalize natin. The capitalization will not be suspended. Okay? So what are the exceptions? Number 1, is during the period when substantial technical and administrative work is being carried out. Worded in another way, baka naman kasi tinigil muna natin pansamantala yung construction because there is a substantial technical and administrative work being carried out. If that's the only reason why active development is interrupted, then we can continue capitalizing borrowing costs. No need to suspend capitalization of borrowing cost. Okay? Then the second exception is when the temporary delay is a necessary part of the process. An example of this is when what we are constructing is a bridge. If bridge yung kino-construct natin and it's normal doon sa portion or sa part kung saan natin ginagawa yung bridge, it's common na tumaas yung tubig. Well, apparently, wala tayong choice. May interrupt talaga yung pag-construct natin ng bridge. Since that is a necessary part of the process kasi normal tumaas yung tubig doon, then, we can continue capitalizing borrowing cost. Ibig sabihin, no need to suspend capitalization if the temporary delay is a necessary part of the process. Okay? So those are the general rule as well as the exceptions with regard to the suspension of the capitalization of borrowing cost. Okay? Now, alam na natin kailan mag-i-start, kailan magsususpend, kailan hindi dapat magsuspend. So, doon tayo sa last. Kailan tayo mag-i-stop? Kapag suspension, pansamantala lang yan eh. Dito sa cessation, stop na talaga ang capitalization. So, when do we cease to capitalize borrowing cost? Well, capitalization of borrowing cost will cease when substantially all the activities necessary to prepare the qualifying asset are complete. Ibig sabihin, kapag substantially complete na yung, let's say, for example, building na kino-construct or binibuild natin. If substantially complete na yung building na kino-construct natin, then you should stop capitalizing borrowing cost already. Maliwanag? Then last but not the least, let's talk about disclosure requirement. What are the necessary information that we need to disclose in the notes to the financial statements? Number 1 is the amount of borrowing cost capitalized during the period. Then second will be the interest rates used. Okay? So those are the basic information that you should know with regard to borrowing cost. So burahin ko lang muna and then after kong burahin, let's discuss the kinds of borrowings as well as the computation of the capitalizable borrowing cost. One moment. Alright, now, let's move on, no, to the kinds of borrowings. So, meron tayong dalawang klase, no, of borrowings. Okay, borrowings. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na specific borrowing. Okay? Then, apparently, later on, no, i-discuss naman natin yung general borrowing. Okay? Start tayo dun sa tinatawag natin na specific borrowing. Kapag sinabi nating specific borrowing, take note, no, that from the term itself, okay, kaya siya natawag na specific borrowing because we are borrowing money specifically for the construction of a qualifying asset. Ibig sabihin, inutang talaga natin yung pera dito, no, para makapag-construct tayo ng qualifying asset. Walang ibang rason kung bakit tayo umutang ng pera dito. Maliwanag? Now, apparently, if what we are talking about is specific borrowing, the capitalizable, again, the capitalizable, okay, borrowing cost will be equal, no, to the actual, again, this is equal to the actual borrowing cost incurred, okay, and then apparently minus any investment income, again, minus any investment income earned from the temporary investment, no, of funds. So, isa-isahin natin i-discuss. Kapag sinabi nating actual borrowing cost incurred from the term itself, magkano ba talaga yung interest or borrowing cost na na-incur natin? Ibig sabihin, madali lang i-compute to. All you have to do is to multiply the principal with the rate and, of course, with the time. PRT lang naman to, no? Pag sinabi nating time, possible kasi na 9 months lang yung utang natin or 3 months lang. If that's the case, times 9/12 or 3/12 lang. Okay? Now, anong sabi natin kapag specific borrowing, umutang tayo dito ng pera specifically for the construction of a qualifying asset. Now, is it possible na habang hindi mo pa ginagamit yung pera sa pag-construct, no, ng building natin, see to it na ininvest mo muna siya temporarily, no? Okay, either sa shares or sa bonds. Possible ba yon? Yes, that's possible. And apparently, if, okay, nag-earn tayo, no, ng income from those temporary investment, let's say, for example, naka-receive tayo ng interest income or ng dividend income, those investment income will be deducted from the actual borrowing cost incurred in computing the capitalizable borrowing cost. Okay? So, ganun lang naman kadali i-compute, no? Yung capitalizable specific borrowing cost. Okay? Now, try nating i-apply yon, no? Here in problem number 34. So, ilalagay ko dito, no? Okay, problem number 34. Okay? So, here, in problem number 34, anong meron? On January 1, 2032, AFAR Company borrowed 6 million at an annual interest rate of 10% to finance, specifically, kindly encircle or underline that word, specifically, the cost of building an electricity generating plant. Umutang daw tayo dito ng 6 million specifically to construct, okay, the electricity generating plant. Okay? The construction commenced on January 1, 2032 with a cost of 6 million. Not all the cash borrowed was used immediately, so interest income of 80,000 was generated by temporarily investing some of the borrowed funds prior to use. The project was completed kailan? On November 30, 2032. Hindi siya hanggang dulo. November 30 lang. So, number 98, what is the amount of capitalizable borrowing cost? And then, number 99, what is the initial carrying amount of the plant? Okay? So, start muna tayo sa pag-compute, no, ng capitalizable borrowing cost. Once again, paano i-compute? Actual borrowing cost incurred, ha? Magkano ba yung actual borrowing cost incurred natin? Well, magkano yung inutang natin? Umutang tayo ng 6 million. The interest rate is 10%. And apparently, no, nag-start tayo kailan? January 1, 2032, pero kailan natapos yung construction? Sabi dito, no, the project was completed on November 30, 2032. What did I mention a while ago? Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, di ba, the capitalization will cease when, okay, the construction of the qualifying asset is substantially complete. Ibig sabihin, kapag tapos na yung construction, stop na rin yung capitalization natin. Ibig sabihin, January 1 to November 30 lang to. So that is only a period of 11 months. That's why we need to multiply this by 11 over 12. Once again, no? January 1 to November 30 lang tayo nag-construct. That is why 11 months lang din yung borrowing cost na pwede nating i-capitalize. Okay? So, magkano yung actual borrowing cost incurred natin? 6 million times 10% times 11 over 12. This is equal to 550,000 pesos. Okay? Once again, minus any investment income earned from temporary investment. Magkano daw yon? Kumita daw tayo, no? Ng 80,000. So, minus 80,000. So, magkano yung capitalizable borrowing cost natin, which is our final answer, no? For requirement number 98. Well, 550,000 minus 80,000. Our final answer for requirement number 98 is equal to 470,000 pesos. Again, requirement 98, 470,000, final answer. Okay? Now, punta tayo sa requirement 99. Anong meron dito sa requirement 99? What is the initial carrying amount of the plant? Again, what is the initial carrying amount daw, no? Of the plant. Well, magkano ba yung cost na na-incur natin? We incurred a total of 6 million. Tama? Apparently, we have capitalizable borrowing cost equal to 470,000. So, the initial carrying amount, or should I say, the cost of the plant that we have constructed will now be equal, no, to 6,470. Okay? So, final answer here, no, in item number 99 is choice letter Charlie. Again, item 99, Charlie, is our final answer. So, that's what we call specific borrowings. Okay? Alright. Now, punta ngayon tayo dun sa isa pang klase, no, ng borrowings. So, meron tayong specific, meron din tayong tinatawag na general borrowings. Again, meron din tayong tinatawag, ha, na general borrowings. So, ano naman itong mga general borrowings na to? Well, kapag sinabi nating general borrowings, it means that, okay, umutang tayo ng pera but not specifically to finance the construction of the qualifying asset. Kapag sinabi nating general borrowings, umutang tayo ng pera for general purposes. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung perang inutang natin dito, pwede natin gamitin sa kahit na anong bagay. Pero nagkataon lang, okay, na portion of it was used to construct a qualifying asset. Okay? Ulitin ko lang yung pinagkaiba nila, ha. Pag specific borrowing, umutang tayo ng pera para, okay, specifically to finance the construction of a qualifying asset. Pero kapag general borrowings naman, umutang tayo ng pera, okay, well, for general purposes. It's just that portion of the money borrowed here was used to construct a qualifying asset. Okay? So, what is the capitalizable borrowing cost, no, kapag, okay, general borrowings naman tayo? Well, capitalizable borrowing cost is actually the lower, again, whichever is lower tayo dito, ha, lower between what we call the accumulated, again, meron tayong tinatawag, no, na average. Again, we have what we call the average accumulated expenditure, okay, or yung tinatawag nating AAE, okay, times what we call the average, okay, interest rate. Alright? Once again, ha, the capitalizable borrowing cost is equal to average accumulated expenditure times the average interest rate. Alright? Then apparently, whichever is lower, so kailangan pa natin ng isa pa. Ano yung isa pa? The second one is what we call the actual borrowing cost incurred. Because apparently, if the actual borrowing cost incurred, no, is only 50,000, okay, napakapangit naman, hindi makatotohanan if we will capitalize 60,000. Tama? So, hindi pwedeng lumagpas sa actual borrowing cost incurred ang pwede nating i-capitalize. Because if ang na-incur lang natin is 50, syempre hanggang dun lang din yung pwede mong i-capitalize. Kasi possible dito sa general borrowings okay, na ang inutang lang natin for general purposes is 5 million. Yet, okay, well, ang nagamit natin to construct the building is 10 million. So if that's the case, possible na mas malaki tong una. Pero once again, no, yung ika-capitalize natin hindi pwedeng lumagpas dito. Maliwanag? Now, alam na natin paano i-compute, no, yung actual borrowing cost incurred. Paano nga ba yan i-compute? Once again, PRT lang. Principal times interest times the rate. Okay? So, ang kailangan ngayon nating malaman paano i-compute, no, is yung AAE at saka yung average interest rate. Okay? Now, with regard, no, to our average accumulated expenditure, again, our average accumulated expenditure, no, paano yan i-compute? How to compute this AAE? Well, average accumulated expenditure will be computed by considering the time kung kailan natin na-incur, okay, yung expenditure up until the time na matapos yung project. Alright? Ibig sabihin, no, okay, i-average natin yung mga expenditure by multiplying each expenditure, again, by multiplying, each expenditure, okay, to what? To the period, again, to the period, okay, kung kailan sila na-incur up until the date of completion. Alright? Ibig sabihin, if na-incur ito, let's say, for example, ng April 1, and then natapos yung project ng November 30, this is a period of how many months? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. This is a period of 8 months. So, we will multiply the expenditure by 8 over 12. Okay? Yun lang naman yung ibig sabihin neto Okay? Now, para mas maging makatotohanan, let's have an example. Let's say, for example, no, these are the expenditures incurred. On January 1, ang na-incur natin is 100,000. Okay? Let's say, for example, that on March 1, we incurred additional 120,000. Okay? Apparently, on June 1, we incurred additional 180,000. Okay? Now, on July 1, let's say, for example, nag-incur tayo no, ng 160,000. And then, on September 1, nag-incur ulit tayo ng sabihin na nating equal no, to 210,000 pesos. Okay? Or 240. Sige, gawin natin 240. Alright? Now, apparently, yan na lang. Yan lang muna yung mga na-incur natin. Paano nga ulit i-compute si average accumulated expenditure? Once again, i-multiply natin isa-isa tong mga to doon sa period kung kailan sila na-incur up until the end of the current period or up until the end of, or up until the completion of the construction. Okay? So, let's say na-complete yung construction dito, no, ng sabihin na nating December 31. Again, date of completion, okay? Sabihin na natin is on December 31. Okay? So, anong multiplier ngayon natin dito? January 1 to December 31 is 12 months. So, times 12 over 12. Okay? Next, March 1 to. So, March 1 up until December 31, bilang. Ilang buwan yun? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's a period of 10 months. So, times 10 over 12. Okay? Now, June 1 up to December 31, kahit bilangin mo yan, no? This is 7 over 12. And then, July 1 up to December 31, gano'n naman yan katagal. Okay? Well, that will be July, August, September, October, November, December. That is 6 months. So, times 6 over 12. Then here, no, September 1 up to December 31, gano'n yan katagal. September, October, November, December, that's a period of 4 months. Alright? So, magkano ngayon yan? 100,000, okay, times 12 over 12, this is equal, no, to 100,000. Alright? 120 times 10 over 12, this is likewise equal to 100,000. 180 times 7 over 12, this is equal to 105,000. 160 times 6 over 12, this is equal to 80,000. Then finally, 240 times 4 over 12, this is likewise equal to 80,000. Okay? So kapag inad natin ngayon yung mga yan, ito na yung tinatawag natin, no, na average accumulated expenditure. Again, this is now what we call the average accumulated expenditure. Magkano? 100,000 plus 100,000 plus 105 plus 80 plus another 80, or this is equal to 465,000. Okay? Alternatively, pwede rin namang hindi mo na isulat to, no? M plus ka na lang. Try natin. On your calculator, MC or MRC ka muna. Okay? Then lagay mo, 100,000 times 12 over 12, M plus ka para yung 100 pumasok sa calculator mo. Next, 120 times 10 over 12, M plus mo ulit. Next, 180 times 7 over 12, M plus ulit tayo. Next, 160 times 6 over 12, M plus ulit tayo. Then finally, 240 times 4 over 12, M plus ka ulit. Kapag na-input mo na itong mga to sa calculator mo, kindly click MR or MRC, no? That's memory recall, lalabas si 465,000. Okay? So that's how you compute average accumulated expenditure. On the other hand, kapag tinotal mo naman, no, etong mga to, ito yung tinatawag natin, no, na actual expenditure. Again, ito naman, no, yung tinatawag natin na actual expenditure. Okay? So magkano yung actual expenditure natin? 100 plus 120 plus 180 plus 160 plus 240, our actual expenditure is equal to 800,000 pesos. Okay? Now, sometimes, no, ang ibibigay sa atin ng problem is already the actual expenditure. Let's say, for example, the actual expenditure, according to the problem, no, is 1.2 million. Alright? Then, sasabihin ng problem, no, that the actual expenditure is actually incurred evenly. Again, sasabihin ng problem, the actual expenditure is incurred evenly throughout the year. Ang ibig sabihin ngayon yan, no, if incurred evenly throughout the year, yung actual expenditure natin, take note that to compute the average accumulated expenditure, all you have to do is to divide the actual total expenditure by 2. Let me repeat. If ang given sa problem is the actual expenditure and sabi ng problem, it is incurred evenly throughout the period, to compute the average accumulated expenditure, all you have to do is to divide by 2 the total actual expenditure. Because we are assuming na kalahati na incur sa start ng period, then yung kalahati sa dulo naman. Alright? So here, our average accumulated expenditure will be equal to 600,000. Okay? So that is how you compute for the average accumulated expenditure. And once again, that is the first item that we need to know in computing the possible capitalizable general borrowing costs. Okay? Now, discuss naman natin paano kino-compute, no, itong average interest rate. Well, average interest rate, no, is needed, okay, if and only if we have more than one general borrowings. Because if isa lang naman yung general borrowings natin, di hindi natin to kailangan. Kasi nagko-compute lang tayo ng ganito kapag meron tayong more than one. Kasi it's possible, no? Again, it is possible na hindi lang isa yung general borrowings natin. Possible na marami-rami yan. So let's have an example. Let's say, for example, meron tayo ditong general, okay, borrowings 1, then meron tayong general borrowings 2, tatlo, lagay natin. Then meron tayong general borrowings 3. Okay? So, tatlo yung general borrowings natin, no? Magkano yung principal? Let's say, for example, that the principal for general borrowings 1, no, is equal to 1.2 million. General borrowings 2, it's equal to 1.8 million. Then sabihin na natin sa general borrowings 3, it's equal to around 3 million pesos. Okay? Now, magkano ngayon yung total general borrowings natin? How much is the total general borrowings? 1.2 plus 1.8 plus 3 million. This is equal, no, to 6 million pesos. Again, this is equal, to 6 million pesos. Okay? Now, let's put here interest rate. So, let's say, for example, interest rate natin sa general borrowings 1 is 9%. General borrowings 2, sabihin na natin 15%. Then, general borrowings 3, 12% tayo. Okay? Now, kapag pinag-multiply yung dalawa, mako-compute natin, no, yung actual borrowing cost incurred natin. Okay? Magkano yan? 1.2 times 9%, 108,000 for the first general borrowings. For the second, 1.8 times 15%, this is equal to 270,000. Okay? And then 3 million times 12%, this is 360,000 naman. Kapag in-add natin yung tatlo, once again ito yung tinatawag natin na actual borrowing cost incurred. Okay? Ito na yon, itong actual borrowing cost incurred dito. Okay? Magkano? 108 plus 270 plus 360, well, this is equal to 738,000 pesos. Okay? So, paano ngayon natin i-compute si average interest rate? See to it that average interest rate is actually equal to the total. Again, this is equal to the total actual borrowing cost incurred, okay, divided by the total, again, the total general borrowings. Alright? Well, in our example, magkano ang lumalabas na air? Again, in our example, magkano yung air na lumalabas or average interest rate? Well, 738,000 divided by the total general borrowings na 6 million, no? So, divided by 6 million or ilan ngayon yung average interest rate natin? 738 divided by 6 million, this is equal to 12.3%. Okay? So, itong 12.3% ngayon na to, yung gagamitin nating pang-multiply sa average accumulated expenditure natin in computing the possible capitalizable borrowing cost. Possible kasi, hindi yun yung automatic capitalizable general borrowing cost Kasi whichever is lower pa tayo, between this one and the actual borrowing cost incurred. Maliwanag? Then last but not the least, anong napansin mo sa specific? Kanina sa specific, meron tayong dinideduct Sabi natin, we deduct any investment income earned from the temporary investment of funds. Dito, sa general borrowings, wala kang nakitang minus investment income. Because apparently here, in general borrowings, any investment income, again, any investment income from the temporary investment of funds are actually recognized as income. Ibig sabihin, these investment income are not netted. Again, these are not netted from the capitalizable general borrowing cost. So, hindi natin dinideduct yung investment income from the temporary investment of funds in computing the capitalizable general borrowing cost. Okay? We only deduct investment income if what we are trying to compute is the capitalizable specific borrowing cost. Okay? So, burahin ko muna yung nakasulat sa board. Then after that, let's apply these concepts or these concepts that we have discussed to the problems. Okay? One moment, guys. Alright, so to illustrate, okay, general borrowings naman, let's move on here in problem number 35. Okay? So, ilalagay ko muna dito, problem number 35. Okay? So, anong meron, dito sa problem number 35? Here, Malayan Company borrowed 15 million at 12% to finance, in part, the construction of a new building on January 1, 2032. And in part, for general purposes. So, general borrowings to, no? Okay? The loan is to be repaid commencing the month following completion of the building. Expenditures for the completed structure totaled 10 million during the year ended December 31, 2032, and were incurred evenly throughout the year. The entity earned interest of 200,000 for the year on the unexpended portion of the loan. Okay? Requirement number 100, what amount of interest is capitalized on December 31, 2032? Okay? So once again, the capitalizable borrowing cost is whichever is lower between our average accumulated expenditure and times average interest rate, which is equal to how much? Well, our average accumulated expenditure here will be equal, to magkano nga yan? 10 million, that's the actual expenditure divided by 2 because evenly incurred throughout the year, yung actual expenditure na yon. Okay? So, 10 million divided by 2 is equal, to 5 million pesos. Now, isa lang naman yung inutang natin dito. And according to the problem, 12% daw, yung ating interest rate. So, multiply it by 12%. Magkano yung lalabas dito? 5 million, again, 5 million, times 12%. This is equal to 600,000 pesos. Okay? Apparently, magkano yung ating actual borrowing cost incurred? Our actual borrowing cost incurred is equal, to 15 million. Yun yung inutang natin, times 12%, or this is equal to magkano? 15 million times 12% is equal to 1.8 million. Okay? Once again, whichever is lower tayo, so 600 ang ika-capitalize natin. Okay? Nung sabi dito, requirement 100, what amount of interest is capitalized on December 31, 2032? Well, on December 31, 2032, the capitalizable general borrowing cost will be equal to 600,000 pesos. Kasi yun yung mas mababa So, ibig sabihin, requirement number 100, choice letter Bravo, is our final answer. Okay? Requirement number 101, what is the interest expense for 2032? Well, apparently, our actual borrowing cost incurred, is equal to ilan? 1.8 million as computed. How much did we capitalize? Magkano yung capitalizable borrowing cost natin? It's only equal to 600,000. So if we incurred 1.8 million and 600 lang yung kinapitalize natin, see to it that the difference between the two now is what we call the interest expense. Because if ang na-incur natin is 1.8 and only 600 is capitalized, syempre, the 1.2 million remaining will be recognized as expense. That is why requirement number 101, our final answer is choice letter Charlie. Okay? So that is problem number 35. Okay? Alright. Now, before we go to problem number 36, discuss muna ulit tayo. So what if meron tayong, both, again, we have both specific, and, general borrowings, that supports a specific project. Okay? So, ibig sabihin dito, parehong meron tayong specific borrowing or specific na utang to finance a project. Then apparently, meron din tayong general borrowings or borrowings that we actually, para bang borrowed for general purposes and then part of it was used to construct a building. So, paano pagpareho? So, kapag pareho, kakailanganin nating makompute pa din, yung capitalizable borrowing cost. So, para mas madali ang buhay natin, I'll share with you my Sorya notes here, in this scenario. Alright? So, Sorya notes number 1 is actually to smile. Smile ka muna, okay? Because apparently, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of examinees, a lot of students who will not get this topic. Okay? Apparently, ikaw, okay, well, magigets mo na siya with the use of our Sorya notes. So, first step is to smile because, okay, every time na nag-i-smile ka, hindi mo alam, marami kang nai-inspire na tao. Likewise, mas dumadali ang buhay, no? Okay, kapag nakasmile lang tayo. Okay? Now, what is Sorya notes number 2? Sorya notes number 2 is for us to compute, again, compute, okay, the average accumulated, okay, expenditure. Alright? Ibig sabihin ngayon, the first step is smile once again. Then the second step is for us to compute the AAE. Okay? Now, punta tayo sa Sorya notes number 3. Sorya notes number 3 is to allocate, again, allocate the average accumulated expenditure to specific, again, to specific and, okay, general borrowings. Okay? So, after nating makompute yung average accumulated expenditures, we'll need to allocate the same to specific and general. Here in the allocation, always remember, no, that allocate first, again, allocate first to specific, again, allocate first to specific the actual borrowings. Okay? Kung magkano man yung specific borrowings na inutang natin. Alright? Apparently, no, after we allocate the AAE to specific, any residual, again, any residual is the amount, again, is the amount allocated to general borrowings. Ibig sabihin, laging yung natitira lang yung ma-allocate sa general borrowings natin. Bakit kaya ganon? Bakit ganon yung naging computation natin? Well, apparently kasi, yung specific, inutang talaga natin yan to construct the asset. Naturally, uubusin mo muna, no, yung specific borrowings mo bago mo gagamitin yung general borrowings. That is why we exhaust first this specific borrowing. And if may natira pa sa AAE natin after exhausting the specific borrowing, dun pa lang natin i-assume na meron tayong ginamit na general borrowings. Kasi baka specific ba lang enough na to support the project. Clear? So, laging residual lang si general kasi nga yung general borrowings hindi naman natin yan inutang to construct the building. Inutang natin yan for general purposes, nagkataon lang that portion of the money was used to construct the asset. Okay? Now, Sorya notes number 4 na tayo. Sorya notes number 4 is actually to compute, okay, the capitalizable. Again, compute the capitalizable, okay, specific borrowing cost. Okay? How do we compute it? Once again, actual borrowing cost incurred minus investment income. Okay? Sorya notes number 5 is to compute. Again, Sorya note 5, no? Is to compute the capitalizable general borrowing cost naman. How do we compute the capitalizable general borrowing cost? Once again, it will be the lower between the average accumulated expenditure times average interest rate or actual general borrowing cost incurred. Okay? So, whichever is lower between the two lang. Okay? Then, Sorya notes number 6 is to compute, again, Sorya notes number 6, no, is to compute the total capitalizable, again, capitalizable borrowing cost, which is just the sum of Sorya notes number 4 and Sorya notes number 5. So, i-add mo lang yung 4 and 5, mako-compute mo na si 6. Okay? Then, finally, Sorya notes number 7 is to compute, again, Sorya note 7, is to compute the cost of the asset. Alright? How do we compute the cost of the asset? Well, the cost of the asset will actually just be equal, no? Again, it will just be equal to the actual expenditure, not the average, It should be the actual expenditures plus the capitalizable borrowing cost, which is the one that we have computed in Sorya notes number 6. Okay? So those are the Sorianos that you should learn or you should remember whenever a project is both financed by a specific and general borrowings. Okay? To illustrate, please now go here in illustrative problem number 36. So ilalagay ko dito problem number 36. Okay? So anong meron dito? On January 1, 2032, Aya Company contracted with a contractor to construct a building for 20 million. The entity is required to make 5 payments in 2022 with the last payment scheduled on the date of completion. The building was completed on December 31, 2032. The entity made the following payments during 2032. The entity had the following debt outstanding on December 31, 2032. 12% 4-year note dated January 1, 2032 relating specifically to the building project. So the 8.5 million here is actually specific borrowing. Next, 10% 10-year note dated December 31, 2031. Wala namang sinabi ang problem that this borrowing is specifically for the project. So general borrowings yung 6 million. As well as yung 9 million Walang sinabi ang problem, that it is actually borrowed specifically to finance the project. So, yung 6 million and 9 million are assumed to be general borrowings. Okay? So, here, lalagay muna natin, general borrowings. Alright? Meron tayong dalawa. Meron tayong 6 million. Again, meron tayong 6 million and 9 million. Alright? Now, magkano yung ating interest rate? Kasi i-multiply natin yung dalawa to compute, the actual borrowing cost incurred. Alright? So, magkano to, guys? Okay? Interest rate natin for the 6 million is 10%, while for the 9 million, it's equal to 12% naman. So, 6 million times 10% is equal to 600,000. Then, 900,000, times 12% is equal to 108. 9 million times, 12% is equal to 1,080,000 pesos. Okay? So, magkano yung total general borrowings natin? The total general borrowings is equal to 15 million, while that actual borrowing cost incurred, is equal to 600,000 plus 1,080,000, or this is equal to 1,680,000 pesos. Okay? Now, apparently, compute ngayon natin yung ating average interest rate. Well, average interest rate is equal to 1,680. Again, this is equal to 1,680 divided by total general borrowings na 15 million. Alright? So, our average interest rate is how many percent? 1,680 divided by 15 million, this is 11.2%. Alright? Now, compute ngayon natin yung average accumulated expenditures natin. We have here January 1, which is equal to 2 million. Lagay ko lang muna. Ano pa yung other expenditures natin? March 31, is equal to 4 million. What else? Meron din tayong June 30. That is equal to 6.1 million. Okay? Meron din tayo ditong September 30. So, September 30, that is equal to 4.4 million pesos. And then finally, we have December 31, which is equal to 3.5 million pesos. Alright? Once again, i-multiply natin yan, kung kailan, dun sa period kung kailan sila na-incur up until the end of the period, because the end of the year is the date of completion of the project here. So, January 1 to December 31 is 12 months, so times 12 over 12. Okay? March 31 up to December 31 is a period of 9 months, so times 9 over 12. June 30 to December 31 is a period of 6 months, so times 6 over 12. September 30 up to December 31 is a period of 3 months, so times 3 over 12. Then December 31, dulo na yan, no? So, ibig sabihin times 0 over 12 na yan. Kasi sa dulo na na-incur yan eh. Okay, so magkano to? 2 million. 2 million ba yun? Yeah. 2 million times 12 over 12, obviously, is still equal, no? To 2 million pesos. Okay? 4 million times 9 over 12 is equal to 3 million pesos naman. Okay? Now, 6.1 million times 6 over 12, this is equal to 3,050,000 pesos. Next, 4.4 million times 3 over 12 is equal to 1.1 million. Then 3.5 times 0 over 12 is equal to 0. Okay? So, how much now is our average accumulated expenditure? Again, magkano ang ating average accumulated expenditure? 2 million plus 3 million plus 3 million, 50 plus 1.1 million. This is equal to 9,150,000 pesos. That is why requirement number 102, ano yung tanong sa 102? Determine the average accumulated expenditures on the building. See to it that 9,150 or delta is our final answer. Okay? So, okay na tayo ha sa item number 102. Okay na tayo sa Sorianotes 2. Now, Sorianotes number 3, once again, no, is to allocate. Allocate muna natin to sa specific. Again, we will allocate it first ha to specific. Magkano ang ma-allocate sa specific? It's equal to the, once again, actual specific borrowings. Actual specific borrowings in this problem, no, is equal to 8.5 million pesos. Okay? So, magkano ngayon, no, ang ma-allocate sa general borrowings? The amount allocated now to general borrowings will be equal, no, to 9,150. Again, this is equal to 9,150 minus 8.5 million, or this is equal to magkano? Okay? 9,150 less 8.5, it's only equal to 650,000. Alright? Now, Sorianotes 4, compute the capitalizable specific borrowing cost. Actual borrowing cost lang naman to. So, 8.5 million times 12%. Again, 8.5 million, no? Times 12%. Magkano yan? 8.5 times 0.12. This is equal to 1,020,000 pesos. Okay? Sa general naman, meron na tayong average accumulated expenditure. Meron na rin tayong average interest rate. So, 650 times 11.2% will be equal to how much? Okay? 650 times 0.112, this is equal to 72,800. Once again, whichever is lower. 1,680 yung actual, 72,800 lang yung na-compute dito. So, obviously, mas mababa pa din to. So, ito yung gagamitin natin. So, once added, no, itong dalawang to, once added, that will be equal, okay, to the capitalizable borrowing cost. So, magkano ang capitalizable borrowing cost? 1,020,000 plus 72,800. This is equal to 1,092,800. Okay? So, requirement number 103, how much is the capitalizable borrowing cost? Once again, 1,092,800 or Bravo is our final answer. So, requirement number 103, no? Bravo is our final answer. Okay? Requirement number 104, determine the total cost of the building. Okay? Madali lang yan. Magkano ba yung ating actual expenditure? Our actual expenditures are equal, no? According to the problem, it's equal to 20 million. Again, according to the problem, no? Equal to 20 million. Then just add the capitalizable borrowing cost, and that's it. This is already the total cost of the building. Magkano na nga ulit capitalizable borrowing cost natin? 1,092,800. Okay? So, requirement number 104 now, magkano yung cost ng building? Okay, 1,092,800 plus 20 million. This is equal to 21,092,800. So, requirement number 104, choice letter Bravo, is our final answer. Okay? Then, requirement number 105, compute the interest expense for the year 2032. Okay? Well, here, sa specific, lahat naman na-capitalize, no? So, possible lang na magka-interest expense tayo sa general. So, magkano ba, no? Yung actual, again, how much ba? Yung actual general borrowing cost incurred natin. How much is the actual general borrowing cost incurred? As computed a while ago, that's 1,680. So, ilalagay natin dito, no? 1,680,000. Now, how much did we capitalize? Magkano yung capitalizable general borrowing cost? We only capitalized, no? 72,800. So, ang na-incur natin is 1,680 and then 72,800 lang yung na-capitalize. Ibig sabihin, the difference between the two will be the interest expense. Kasi if ito yung na-incur natin, ito lang yung na-capitalize, kaya yung natitira ngayon, i-expense natin. Clear? So, requirement number 105, magkano yan? 1,680 less 72,800, this is equal to 1,607,200. So, requirement number 105, choice letter Bravo, is our final answer. Okay? So, that is problem number 36. Again, that's problem, no? Number 36. Alright? Now, burahin ko muna ulit, no? Yung mga nakasulat sa board. Then, after that, okay, continue natin yung ating discussion sa borrowing cost. Okay? One moment. Alright, now, let's discuss the next topic here. Okay? What if the construction period, again, what if, no? Okay, the construction, okay, period is actually more than 1 year. Okay? So, if the construction period is more than 1 year, take note, no, na hindi mo pwedeng minsanan i-compute yung capitalizable borrowing cost natin. Okay? Ang gagawin natin, if that will be the case, no, is, okay, number 1, okay, I'll share with you my Sorya notes again, no, para mas mabilis. So, here, Sorya notes number 1 is to compute, again, compute the capitalizable borrowing cost in year 1. So, year 1 muna tayo, ha. Hindi muna natin isasabay yung year 2. Clear? Kakapagod magbura. Wait lang, ha. One moment. Okay? Okay na yan. Okay. Now, Sorya notes number 2, no? Okay, after that is to compute. Again, compute, okay, the cost of the asset, at the end, again, at the end of year 1. Because apparently, the cost of the asset, no, at the end of the year 1 will automatically become the beginning cost in year 2. Then after that, Sorya notes number 3, compute normally. Again, compute normally, okay, year 3 or year 2 rather. So, ibig sabihin, lahat nung diniscuss natin kanina dito, i-apply mo lang normally sa year 2. So, para mas magets mo yan, punta ngayon tayo, no, here in problem number 37 na tayo. So, ilalagay ko dito, no, problem number 37. Okay? So, here in problem number 37, Molave Company had the following outstanding loans during 2032 and 2033. Mabait yung problem kasi isang specific, isang general lang yung given, no? So, no need to compute for average interest rate. The entity began the self-construction of a new building on January 1, 2032, and the building was completed kailan? On June 30, 2033. Okay? The following expenditures were made. Okay? So, compute muna natin yung average accumulated expenditure natin, no? So, January 1, 2032 Ano yung kasunod? April 1, 2032. And then, meron tayong December 1, 2032. Hindi muna natin isasama sa computation ha, si March 1, 2033 kasi the following year pa yon. Now, January 1 to December 31, that is a period of 12 months, so times 12 over 12. April 1 to December 31 is a period of 9 months, so times 9 over 12. Then December 1 to December 31, 1 month na lang yon. So times 1 over 12 tayo. Okay? By the way ha, pwede kang mag-M plus na lang dito, pero ako, nilalagay ko muna lahat kasi discussion naman to, illustration naman to. Okay? So, okay, well, nawawala pala no, yung mga amounts. Okay? Dito ko na lang ilalagay sa kabilang side. Okay? Lagay natin dito yung mga amounts. Nakalimutan kong isulat. January 1, 2032, that's equal to 4 million. April 1, 2032, that's equal to 5 million. And then December 1, that's equal to 3 million naman. Okay? Now, here, 12 over 12 times 4 million is equal to 4 million pa din. Next, 9 over 12, okay, of 5 million is equal to 3,750. And then, okay, 3 million times 1 over 12 is equal to 250,000 naman. Okay? Adding these three together will give us our average accumulated expenditure for the year 2032. Magkano? 4 million plus 3,750 plus 250. This is equal to 8 million pesos. Again, this is equal ha to 8 million. Anong usapan kanina? Well, ang usapan kanina, allocate mo ulit yan sa specific and sa general. Alright? Magkano ang ma-allocate sa specific? Well, kung magkano talaga yung specific, magkano ba dito yung specific natin? Specific construction loan is equal to 3 million pesos. Okay? Then apparently, kung magkano man yung remaining, no? Okay, yun yung allocated sa general. So, kung 8 million yung average accumulated expenditure, 3 million yung allocated sa specific, magkano lang sa general? It will only be equal, no, to 5 million pesos. Okay? Alright. So, 3 million times 10%, this is equal, no, okay, to 300,000 pesos. Alright? 5 million times 12% naman, this is equal to magkano? 5 million times 12%, this is equal to 600,000 pesos. Pero hindi pa natin pwedeng sabihin na 600 na yung sa general kasi whichever is lower tayo, di ba? So, compute muna natin yung ating actual, okay, general borrowing cost incurred. Magkano ba yung actual general borrowing cost incurred? Well, general loan is equal to 25 million times, okay, the interest rate, which is 12%. Okay? So, magkano to, everyone? Okay? 25 million times 12%, this is equal to 3 million pesos. Once again, whichever is lower, way lower naman yung 600, so 600 pa din tayo, ha? Okay? So, magkano ngayon yung capitalizable borrowing cost natin for the year 2032? Well, 300 plus 600, that is equal, no, to 900,000 pesos. Again, this is equal to 900. Okay? So, requirement number 106. What is the capitalizable borrowing cost for the year 2032? Well, requirement number 106, 900,000 pesos is our final answer. Okay? Requirement number 107, compute the cost of the building on December 31, 2032. Well, magkano muna yung ating actual expenditure so far? Ito yung tinatawag natin, di ba? Na actual expenditure. Okay? How much is our actual expenditure? 4 plus 5 plus 3, that is equal to 12 million. Alright? So, magkano so far yung ating, okay, cost of the building? Lalagay ko dito, no? Actual expenditure, again, actual expenditures, okay, plus the capitalizable borrowing cost, okay? Now, for the year 2032, our actual expenditure so far, no, is equal to 12 million. And then capitalizable borrowing cost as computed is equal to 900,000. Okay? So the cost of the building so far, again, so far pa lang kasi hindi pa tapos is equal to 12.9 million. Again, we are not yet done, kaya so far pa lang yan. Okay? So requirement number 107, 12.9 million is our final answer. Okay? Requirement number 108, compute the interest expense for the year 2032 naman. Paano na nga ulit yun i-compute? Well, actual general borrowing cost incurred, okay, minus, okay, the capitalizable general borrowing cost. Okay? Ganyan lang naman yan kadali, no? Mako-compute na natin yung ating interest expense. Well, actual general borrowing cost incurred as computed is equal to 3 million, while we only capitalize how much? 600 lang, no, yung kinapitalize. Take note, hindi 300, hindi 900, 600 lang. So, magkano to? This is equal to 2.4 million pesos. So, requirement number 108, 2.4 million is our final answer. Okay? Now, requirement number 109, what is the capitalizable borrowing cost for the year 2033? Well, punta ngayon tayo, no, sa year 2033. Here, ang starting point natin is January 1. And take note, that is equal to 12 million pesos. So, January 1, 2033, that's equal to 12.9 million. Okay? Then, apparently, on March 1, 2033, nag-incur ulit tayo ng magkano? Nag-incur ulit tayo, no, ng 6 million pesos. Okay? Now, kailan na nga ulit natapos yung project? June 30 lang natapos, So, January 1 to June 30, gano lang yun katagal? January 1 to June 30, that's just a period of 6 months. So, times 6 over 12 lang to. Okay? Now, March 1 to June 30, gano yan katagal? March, April, May, June. That's a period of 4 months. Okay? So, dito anong meron? 12.9 million, okay, times 6 over 12. This is equal to 6,450,000. Ulitin ko lang, 12.9 times 6 over 12 is 6,450. And then 600,000 ba? 6 million. 6 million rather, times 4 over 12, this is equal to 2 million pesos. Okay? So, our average accumulated expenditure now, no, for the year 2033 is how much? 6,450 plus 2 million. This is equal to 8,450,000 pesos. Again, this is equal, no, to 8,450. Alright? I believe that is the requirement, in requirement number or in question number 111. Tingnan mo muna si 111. Requirement number 111, okay, compute, okay, the average accumulated, no, expenditure for the year 2033. So, requirement number 111, 8,450 is our final answer. Okay? Alright. Now, allocate mo muna ulit yan. Allocate natin yan, no, dito sa specific. And then, apparently, meron din tayong general. Alright? So, the amount allocated, sa specific, once again, still equal to 3 million. And then, kung magkano man yung natitira, yun yung allocated sa general. 8,450 in total yan. Okay? Deduct natin, no, yung 3 million na na-allocate sa specific. So, magkano lang allocated sa general? The amount allocated to general is 5,450. Okay? So, 3 million times 10%, this is still equal, no, to 300,000, no? But, apparently, June 30 lang pala tayo. So, ibig sabihin, 6 months lang tayo pwedeng mag-capitalize ng interest. Because what did I tell you a while ago? Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, the capitalization will cease when, okay, the project is substantially complete. Tama? On June 30 natapos yung project. So, January 1 to June 30 lang tayo pwedeng mag-capitalize. So, multiply ngayon natin to ng 6 over 12 pa. So, 3 million times 10% times 6 over 12, this is only equal to 150,000. Same thing here. Times 12% and then times 6 over 12, magkano yan? 5,450 times 12% times 6 over 12, this is equal to 327,000 pesos. Alright? Recompute ko lang ha, para sure tayo. Okay? This is equal to 5,450 times 12% times 6 over 12, 327. Adding these two together will give us the capitalizable borrowing cost already. So, magkano to? 150 plus 327, this is equal to 477,000. So, requirement number 109, again, requirement number 109, okay, what is the capitalizable borrowing cost for the year 2033? Our final answer, no, is choice, wala palang choice, is equal to 477,000. Okay? Now, finally, requirement number 110. Compute the cost of the new building on December 31, 2033. Okay? So, magkano yung cost ng building? Well, compute muna natin, no, yung ating actual expenditure. Again, let's first compute our actual expenditures. Okay? Our actual expenditures is equal to 12.9 plus 6 million, or this is equal, no, to 18.9 million. Okay? So, ilalagay ko dito, no, 18.9 million. Magkano capitalizable borrowing cost natin? As computed, it's equal to 477,000. Okay? So, requirement number 110, magkano yung cost of the building? That's equal to 18.9 million plus 477,000, or this is equal to 19,377,000 pesos. So, requirement number 110, 19,377,000 is our final answer. Okay? So, that is problem number 37, and that's the last problem here in borrowing cost. Okay? I hope after our discussion for today, okay, gets mo na, no, si IAS number 23. Alright? In the next video, we will now discuss government grants naman. IAS number 20 naman tayo. Alright? So, God bless everyone. Bye-bye!